And Argentina, the world champions, are going to the 2026 final in New York.
These two teams was on show right from the start of the game. The contest sparked to life in the second half when Anthony... And at a time, winning goal, 2-1, the final score, and the title holders return.
It's all about giving it your all right until the very end and going home.
We get criticized after. No one knows what would have happened if we made a different...
It's a noisy few.
So what they say today...
Football fans around the world are still wiping away tears tonight because what just happened in Atlanta will be remembered for generations. Lionel Messi, at 39 years old, delivered two of the most important assists of his legendary career, and when the final whistle blew, he dropped to his knees in the middle of the pitch, completely overwhelmed. Argentina had just done it again. Another impossible comeback. Another heartbreak for England. And the football world cannot stop talking about it. If you're a fan of the beautiful game, you're going to want to stick around for this one, because we're breaking down every single moment of Argentina's stunning 2-1 victory over England in the 2026 World Cup semifinal, the emotional celebrations that followed, and what it all means as Messi chases one final piece of history. Let's get into it. On Wednesday, July 15th, at Atlanta Stadium, Argentina and England clashed in the second semifinal of the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it turned into an instant classic. This wasn't just any football match. This was two heavyweight nations, two proud footballing cultures, and two teams desperate to reach the final in New York and New Jersey. When the dust settled, Argentina had come from behind to win 2-1, with Lionel Messi orchestrating both late goals. For neutrals, it was pure theater. For England fans, it was another gut-wrenching near miss. And for Argentina, it was proof once again that as long as Messi is on the pitch, this team never truly believes it's beaten. To understand why this match meant so much, you have to understand the history behind it. Argentina and England share one of international football's most storied and, at times, most painful rivalries. These two nations hadn't met on a football pitch in over 2 decades, and they hadn't clashed in a World Cup knockout match since 1998. A fixture soaked in drama and controversy of its own. Add in the long shadow of the 1982 war between the two countries, and you had an atmosphere in Atlanta that was electric before a single ball was even kicked. Fans on both sides tried to drown out the other's national anthem before kickoff, and that intensity carried straight onto the pitch. Argentina arrived in the semifinal as the defending World Cup champions, chasing something no team has managed in nearly 70 years, back-to-back titles. Only Brazil, in 1958 and 1962, has ever pulled that off. Manager Lionel Scaloni made one notable change to his starting lineup, bringing in Giuliano Simeone on the right flank of a 4-4-2 setup, a decision that would prove important as the match wore on. England, meanwhile, came into the game under manager Thomas Tuchel, having navigated a tough knockout run of their own, grinding out results against Mexico and Norway by leaning on a disciplined, defensive approach once they got in front. It's a formula that had worked for them all tournament. Tonight, it very nearly worked again. The first half was, by most accounts, a battle rather than a spectacle. Fouls interrupted the rhythm again and again, and neither side created a truly clear-cut chance. Messi had a quiet opening period, closely marked and on the receiving end of some rough treatment, particularly from England midfielder Elliot Anderson. But midway through the half, Messi produced a signature moment, escaping the attention of 3 England defenders on a mazy, elusive run before he was sided down by Anderson, who picked up a yellow card for the challenge. It wasn't a goal or an assist, but it was a spark, a reminder to everyone in the stadium that Messi was still very much dictating the terms of engagement, even without the ball finding the net. The half ended scoreless, tense and cagey. Then came the second half, and everything changed. In the 55th minute, England broke the deadlock. Anthony Gordon finished off a cross for Morgan Rogers to give the Three Lions a 1-0 lead, and Atlanta Stadium erupted in white. For a moment, it looked like England's defensive game plan was going to carry them all the way to the final. Tuchel responded by bringing on more defensive-minded substitutes, shifting his side into a deeper, more conservative shape to protect the lead. It's the exact strategy that had worked against Mexico and Norway earlier in the tournament. But Argentina is a different animal entirely, and this Argentina team, led by Messi, has built an entire World Cup identity around refusing to accept defeat. As England sat back, Messi began to find pockets of space, and he started pulling the strings in a way that would ultimately decide the match. Argentina pushed and pushed. Substitute Nico Gonzalez was denied by England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford. Alexis McAllister came agonizingly close with a header that cannonied off the post. The pressure was mounting, and you could feel the momentum shifting, even with the scoreline still unchanged. Then, in the 85th minute, it happened. With several England defenders occupied marking Messi, he calmly picked out a cross into the box, and Enzo Fernandez rose to head the ball home. 1-1. The stadium, split down the middle all night, exploded into pure chaos. But Argentina wasn't finished. Just 2 minutes into stoppage time, after McAllister's shot had struck the post, Messi collected the loose ball, kept his composure, allowed the play to reset for a moment, and then lofted a perfect cross into the danger area. Lautaro Martinez slipped between two defenders and headed it home. 2-1 Argentina. The winning goal, in the second minute of injury time, sealed one of the most dramatic comebacks of the entire tournament. When the final whistle sounded, Messi sank to his knees, pumping his fists as his teammates lifted him into the air in celebration. It was raw. It was emotional. And for millions watching around the world, it was the kind of moment that reminds you exactly why this sport means so much. Let's talk about just how remarkable Messi's performance was, statistically speaking. He didn't score a single goal in this match, and it didn't matter, because his 2 assists were the difference between an early flight home and a place in the World Cup final. This wasn't a one-off either. 8 days earlier, Messi had inspired a similarly dramatic rally against Egypt in the round of 16. According to tournament records, he has now recorded a goal or an assist in 11 straight World Cup matches dating back to 2022, the longest such streak in the tournament since at least 1966. He also remains the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history, with 21 career goals, and he's currently tied with Kylian Mbappe for the tournament's Golden Boot race this summer, with 8 goals apiece heading into the final stage. At 39 years old, in what may well be his final World Cup appearance, Messi has played every single minute of Argentina's 4 knockout matches. Somehow, he keeps finding another gear exactly when his country needs him most. The reaction from England's camp was one of respect mixed with heartbreak. Manager Thomas Tuchel told the BBC that his side got too passive after taking the lead and struggled to manage possession in the closing stages, allowing Argentina to generate too many crosses and chances late on. England captain Harry Kane was similarly gracious in defeat, acknowledging that his team had largely contained Messi for long stretches, but that a player of his caliber only needs one moment in the final third to change a match. Kane called Messi one of the greatest players the sport has ever seen, a sentiment that has echoed across football media in the hours since the final whistle. On social media, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Argentine fans flooded timelines with celebration clips, while English supporters expressed a familiar, painful frustration at watching their team's lead slip away in the dying minutes yet again. Pundits and former players have spent the day dissecting England's decision to sit back after Gordon's goal, with many arguing that Tuchel's team should have continued looking for a second goal rather than inviting pressure. Others have simply tipped their caps to Messi, calling this comeback yet another chapter in an already unbelievable World Cup legacy. For Argentina, the road now leads to the World Cup final, where they'll face Spain and a red-hot Lamine Yamal on Sunday in New York and New Jersey. It's worth noting that Argentina actually enters that final as the betting underdog, with sportsbooks favoring Spain heading into the matchup. Spain reached the final after defeating France in the tournament's first semifinal, and their side features a stacked lineup, including Rodri, Mikel Oyarzabal, and Mikel Merino alongside Yamal. Interestingly, This will be Spain's first appearance in a World Cup final since 2010, when they defeated the Netherlands in extra time for their only title. For Messi and Argentina, the stakes could not be higher. A win on Sunday would make them just the third nation in history to defend a World Cup title, joining Brazil's back-to-back triumphs in 1958 and 1962. It would also add one final, incredible chapter to Messi's already historic international career. As for England, their World Cup dream ends in heartbreak once again, and their tournament isn't quite over. They'll now turn their attention to the third-place playoff against France on Saturday, a match that will carry far less emotional weight, but still matters for pride and tournament standing. Expect plenty of scrutiny in the coming days over England's tactical approach after taking the lead, and over whether Tuchel's men have the mentality needed to finally break through at the biggest moments. What we witnessed in Atlanta was more than just a football match. It was a reminder of why this sport captures the hearts of billions of people. Lionel Messi, at an age when most players have long since retired, is still delivering when it matters most, still finding a way to drag his country to the brink of history. Argentina now stands one win away from becoming a repeat World Cup champion for the first time in nearly 7 decades, and the final against Spain on Sunday promises to be an unforgettable send-off, one way or another, to what might be the final World Cup chapter of Messi's extraordinary career. If you enjoyed today's football update, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest football news from around the world. Thanks for watching Football Daily Dispatch, and we'll see you in the next update.